sometimes I don't know me as an illusion, as a kind of an entity built up out of conditioned material, right? I don't know when I've done it. I don't know when it's been enough. I don't know if I've hit it. I don't know. And,
you don't need to.
Right.
You have to know that you had willingness.
How do you know? How do you know? How do you know? Okay, so now you got it. Now we've got something we can work with. How do you know, bona fide, tried and true, you've got the little willingness. You know you do. How do you know? What's it feel like? What's the experience of being willing to experience the healing? What's that willingness that you know? You said, I don't know. That's easy to say. 3 little words.
No.
I don't know. And what is, you're done? You're done.
Do you mean it? That's the question. The question is, do you mean it?
How many people have said, till death do you part, I will love you and serve you, and they meant it? How many people? And the divorce rate's 50, 60%.
They changed their mind, didn't they?
They didn't mean it. They thought they did. They thought saying the words is the same as meaning it. That's my
To
point.
me, it feels like something has let go. That's
Okay.
I don't know. I just practice it, and sometimes I know I took it back because, and then I challenge myself. I'm just saying, I challenge myself to say, am I willing again then to experiment with this, where I say, I don't know about this person, this situation, my relationship, my health, or whatever it is. I don't know what it needs to be for me to experience what the Holy Spirit wants for me. I don't know.
St. Augustine said, God, I believe. Help my unbelief.
Yes.
That's all you can do.
That's exactly the way it is. Today's reading is from chapter 27, The Healing of the Dream, and we're reading from section 5, The Healing Example. The only way to heal is to be healed. The miracle extends without your help, but you are needed that it can begin. Accept the miracle of healing, and it will go forth because of what it is. It is its nature to extend itself the instant it is born. And it is born the instant it is offered and received. No one can ask another to be healed, but he can let himself be healed and thus offer the other what he has received. Who can bestow upon another what he does not have? And who can share what he denies himself? The Holy Spirit speaks to you. He does not speak to someone else. Yet by your listening, his voice extends because you have accepted what he says. So I'm going to just share an instant where I actually experienced something very much like this. And it was, as those who have been listening to me and us, in 2000 when I had what the Course calls revelation. It's in chapter 1. If you're wondering what it is, just read chapter 1. It's personal, and it cannot be shared. It says that if you try to share it, it doesn't really work because you experience yourself in the oneness. At least I did. And so at that time, I was in a grocery store, and I just, you're open, you're without fear. Just nothing bothers you at that time. At least it didn't for me. And all of a sudden, through sort of spiritual insight from my heart, these extensions went out and started what through spiritual sight looked like adjustments to people's hearts. I didn't do it. It just did it. It did it by itself. So I actually had an experience of this where it says, accept the miracle of healing and it will go forth because of what it is. It requires nothing of us, because in that instant that you accept it, it is, it automatically extends to all. And it is its nature to extend itself the instant it is born, and it is born the instant it is offered and received. And the fact that no one can ask another to be healed. We try to say, yeah, I'm a healer. And we go out and we say, or we'll ask if somebody wants to be healed. But it says, but he can let himself be healed and thus offer the other what he has received. So that seems different than what we conceptually think of as, quote, healers and being healed and things like that. What do you have to say of that?
People listening or watching or people that are reading this, we have to, first of all, say, I don't know what a miracle is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. You can read the principles, you can go through these things. You just don't assume, because this miracle is extending without my help. But you are needed that it can begin. Now, you mentioned your experience, but the only reason you're aware of it is because of the thing you called revelation.
Yes, that's the only reason why I was aware of it. Otherwise, once you accept the holy instant, which is, we mentioned in the last podcast, is every instant, and you desire to participate in that holy instant, which means that it takes, as we said, your willingness. And so...
But the first line is, the only way to heal is to be healed. So this is how it begins. There has to be a desire for healing.
Yes, there has to be.
If I have a desire to heal the other, like that,
yeah.
It's saying here, give it up, bud.
Exactly.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's the unhealed healer.
Yeah.
That it speaks about.
And when I look out at the world, an unhealed world that needs my ministration, that needs my help, that I have to coax back to bring to me, whether it's my son and him wandering, or someone else I know somewhere that seems in pain, and how can I, as someone who's balanced and stable and aware, can go and heal this person? Yeah. Man, you've got to understand that whole inner dialogue about helping anybody to improve, or improving them for their own good, or improving them for my own good, mm-hmm. It doesn't work.
Right.
The place isn't set up that way. It's saying it. I know no one can ask another to be healed.
Right.
Wow.
That doesn't mean that you can't ask them to be healed, but you can desire healing so that all are healed.
No, you don't. There's no, and it gets back to the Kenneth Wapnick world. There isn't, technically, according to the Course, of course there are people out there. They're not mm-hmm. illusions. They're not like ghosts, like holographic, wraiths wandering around that you can put your hand under. We understand all that. So we understand. But the only one that exists is the student and the teacher. Mm-hmm. Those are the teacher exists as, in a sense. Let's just say it. Let's just leave it at a dualistic, because Kenneth Wapnick, of course, would say correctly that teacher is within, and it's no different than me, and that we are one. So there's no two going on. Mm-hmm. But for our purposes, as a student and a teacher, you have to say there's only the teacher and me being the student. The mm-hmm. rest of it is a lesson. Right. So that there's no people mm-hmm. out there to be healed. No one is out there. My son isn't out there for me to heal mm-hmm. with this situation that, let's say, that's going on right. with him. This is a lesson for me, a very personally crafted mm-hmm. curriculum for me to cope with. And as soon as I think, well, the way we can fix the curriculum is if I go over there and I write him a very meaningful letter, I do these resources, I check this and this. As long as I think I'm the agent of active healing in those terms, I'm just going to keep getting more and more lessons. The lessons are just going to keep on coming mm-hmm. until this lesson spends itself by what? Me seeking healing.
Yeah. We have to.
Now, the thing is, I don't feel sick. He's the sick one. It's like that Abbott and Costello, she's the crazy one, not me, like that. Well,
I know, but with the Course, as we've discussed before, anytime you're not at peace, you're in a place of sickness. Anytime that you're not experiencing just joy that is not joy of this world, but just internal joy from your own heart.
I know, but that joy, that's anytime you notice someone who's not joyful, you're not joyful.
That's right.
I mean, I don't.
No. That's what I mean is that.
I know, but I'm just amplifying
Right.
what you're saying. Hopefully,
Right.
it's not spiking.
I know. Right, but the joy that comes from your own heart is that one that extends without
Right.
me trying.
Well, and the other thing I underlined is the Holy Spirit speaks to you.
Yes.
Now listen, follow. He does not speak to someone else. Do you realize the privilege you have here? You're the only one in the world.
Right.
Let's say you watching. Let's say there's a you there watching. You. I'm telling you, Holy Spirit can't talk to me. Holy Spirit's not talking to her, not talking to me.
He's talking to you.
He's talking to you. Not talking to me. Not talking to her, not talking to anybody else.
Right.
We're all part of the you that's watching. We are part of your curriculum.
Yes.
We are
Yeah.
not separate entities that are coming up with something that, let's say, where we know something or we don't know something or we're full of, whatever. Whatever it is
And
that
when
we're
we
doing.
get responses like comments and things like that, you're the extension of me talking to me. That's what happens.
Yeah, well, I mean, but from your point of view, if you let's say a person hears and they make a comment, this is great, I like this, I didn't like this, you should do this, whatever that is, it's part of your curriculum. Now, it doesn't have anything to do with me from your point of view. That's the way this is built.
Yes,
There's only
that's a
one
strange
person.
thing.
What
But
are
once
we-
you receive it, then it's about you.
I know, but do you get it? That person over there that sent the message,
Yes.
they're not like in my head receiving the message, so that the only thing that matters is that they sent the message as part of their curriculum.
Yeah.
And now, okay, like you said, but I read the message. Now it is part of my curriculum coming to me, from me. And it's not like there's a separate entity out there, a separate person that's talking to me. It's very holographic and fractal. It's very, it's very not additive. This is very much, how they talk about in math when you're a kid, you're going along and they say 2 + 2 + 2 and all that. But then you get into the powers, like 2 to the 4th power, 10 to the 12th power. And you get into these larger esoteric numbers that are outside of the realm of just adding and subtracting stuff. That's the course. It's very decidedly a level up on all of these things. The reason I'm saying it is because I listen to podcasts. I listen to people who've been doing this for 30, 40 years, and they don't get this.
No, they don't get that the Holy Spirit speaks to you and you alone.
You alone. And
Right.
there's nobody out there that needs to be healed. There's no world situation.
Right, and there's no guru really that you need to be paying attention to who says, well, the Holy Spirit is saying, which I had a lot of that going on in my prior relationship.
Let's say the Holy Spirit, somehow I wake up and there's a magic wand under my pillow, and I pull that magic wand out, and the magic wand has a label on it that says, you can heal the world. And I go out and I start tapping everything. I tap all those people in Ukraine. I tap all those politicians. I tap all those people doing green energy or not, or people who are abusive, or people who abuse children. None of them get better. Everybody just keeps on being sick. And you go, it gave me a crappy wand. It doesn't work. Because this is what you got. You take that wand, you go, ding, and you hit yourself on the head.
Yes.
That's all there is to do. Do you understand?
Yes. I think we should go on.
Okay.
This is a long one.
Right. 2, health is the witness unto health. As long as it is unattested, it remains without conviction. Only when it has been demonstrated is it proved, and must provide a witness that compels belief. No one is healed through double messages. If you wish only to be healed, you heal. Your single purpose makes this possible. But if you are afraid of healing, then it cannot come through you. The only thing that is required for healing is a lack of fear. The fearful are not healed and cannot heal. This does not mean the conflict must be gone forever from your mind to heal, for if it were, there were no need for healing then. But it does mean, if only for an instant, you love without attack. An instant is sufficient. Miracles wait not on time.
That is so important to know, that it only takes an instant. I think if there's anything that the Course in Miracles, podcasters and stuff like that, and we do listen periodically, is that's our part, is that instant that we're willing to hold it over and love without attack. An instant, just an instant. That's all it wants. And for some reason, we prefer to hang on to our attack or our defense, and that means we're in fear. So,
No, you think about it. The senses were given to me. Let's just say I have the senses. I don't have your senses. I mean, I can be empathic,
right,
and try to see, well, I wonder what she's feeling. But really, in the end, I feel my cold, I feel my heat, I feel my anxieties. Everything is coming. I am the thermostat for whatever this curriculum is.
Right.
I am the thermometer, however you want to read it,
Correct.
for the entire thing. So health is the witness unto health. As long as it is unattested, it remains without conviction. If I don't experience that health, if I'm not, it's not feeling. If I don't know it, in other words,
it's a knowing.
If I can't attest to the fact that healing has happened, then it's not happening. It remains without conviction. Only when it has been demonstrated is it proved. Now, where's that demonstration? This is the irony. I'm healed. This is how I read it anyway, just the way I look at it. I receive the healing because I see something out there that needs healing. All right? I see something out there, the people out there that need healing. I look to myself and say, what's going on here? What's going on here? Not there. What's going on here? And I check, and then I start looking for witnesses. Am I on the right path? Am I on the right track?
Well, and your desire first had to come that you wanted to be healed from the thing that you think needs healing.
Right. The thing, when I see that thing out there that needs healing, I know that I've got some issues.
Yes.
And that this is the way that the Holy Spirit can talk to me, because, I've projected so much out from myself. It has to come to me from out there.
Yes.
So when I start looking within myself and say, because I don't feel sick, I don't feel like I need healing. The only way I know I need healing is because I'm identifying something out there that says I'm sick.
Well, also, you know that you need healing when you're upset about things.
Right.
Anything.
Well,
like this morning, it was the person who's playing the piano.
Well, I know. Okay, but all right. All right, right. But the thing is, when you feel upset, when I feel upset, obviously, that's an obvious testimony to the fact that I require healing.
Yes.
I require healing, not
Absolutely.
those people that made me upset, but I'm the one, right, when I feel it. But how many times do I feel like I'm firing on all cylinders? I'm firing on 16 cylinders.
Right.
And wow, those poor people over there are half crippled. And I'm in a crippled world. I'm a totally healed and wonderful specimen of spirit and life and love. But them out there, they got problems. Now if you see the world that way in any degree, you're sick.
Yes, exactly.
You're sick. In other words, we have such a capacity to fool ourselves. So no one is healed through. It says only when it has been demonstrated is it proved. That demonstration. Now we're talking the demonstration. The demonstration has to happen where it is effective.
And it says it must provide a witness that compels belief. You get a witness.
Right. Now, so let's say I see someone or a circumstance out there that says, hey, us out here, we're sick. We wish we were as healthy as you. Oh, wannabe Jesus, And I go, I will heal you, my child. And I say this, and I have to say, no, I heal myself. I heal myself, and I do this. Now the thing is, I didn't really feel like I needed it in the first place, and so I have to look around me for those proofs. And we've talked about that, whether it's in movies or print or words from other people or a passing feeling or a dream or wherever it's an effective message to me. But the obvious screen of out there is the thing that maybe tells me that I've moved in a right direction towards healing myself by seeing a movement in those people and circumstances that I think. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. But I mean, it's pretty obvious if you're upset or anything else or not at peace, and you're seeing projections out there that you think need to be healed and everything else. people of the Course should know, yeah, I do need healing. And so therefore, the only question you need to ask is, do I desire the healing? To me, do I desire the healing? Or do I want to be right about the circumstances I'm looking at, whether it's about myself or the other?
I know, but even this idea of desiring the healing, if I go back and use my son as an example, I sense, and I wish I didn't sense it, but I sense residual fears of, him as a separate event. Is this going to go well? Is this going to,
Yes.
is he going to straighten up and fly right, so to speak? Or how is that going to affect me? I have anxieties about that, but I have to, despite the anxieties about how that's shaping up in my 3D world, I have to say, this is the thing that needs the healing.
Yes.
Over and over. Mea culpa, mea culpa, mea culpa.
Right. But you can't discount desire.
No, the desire for the healing, I understand.
But I mean, in other words, once you recognize it, the question is, do I want it? Do I want the healing? Or do I want it to stay over there? Do you know what I mean? And so you perpetuate the fear.
Well, but what I'm saying is that this, no, it's a good point. You got to stay on it and stay on me. But it's like if I want that healing, but I'm not really sure if I want the healing.
That's what you need to check.
I know. I'm ambivalent. Okay, I'm ambivalent. And the reason I wouldn't want healing, as we discussed, is because I'm afraid of something bad happening. It's not that I don't want the healing because I don't want a good thing to happen to me. It's because I'm confused. Mm-hmm. And I think that something bad is going to happen to me if the healing happens.
Now, what does it say? It takes an instant to hand it over, where you won't attack, and you desire love. What was it? The prior one was that you desire not to attack. However,
for even an instant, it only needs an instant that you love instead of attack.
Right.
Love without attack for just a fleeting
right,
second.
Which means that when you look at your son or experience that fear about it and everything else, you can say, well, what would this be like if I just didn't feel, like something has to change? Basically, an attack to me is anything that my judgment says it has to be thus. In other words, then I will know. It needs to be this way.
In the case of my son, some of the fear is that I'm lying to myself. Some of the fear is that I'm lying to myself about A Course in Miracles. Some of the fear is that I can go through these exercises and he doesn't get better.
Right.
That's some of my fear. Mm-hmm. Now, the thing is, I'm not here to decide what better is or worse is. And
right.
This is part of my healing.
Yes.
It's to get over that and to realize, it says, miracles don't wait on time.
That's right. They don't. Yeah.
So the miracle happens, and I don't understand the way it's happening in time. So enough to say, it's a mystery to me, but is there something else there?
No, I think it just reemphasized that the fearful are not healed and cannot heal. So if you're experiencing fear and you think that you're going to heal somebody, it's not going to happen. Okay. Paragraph 3. The holy instant is the miracle's abiding place. From there, each one is born into this world as witness to a state of mind that has transcended conflict and has reached to peace. It carries comfort from the place of peace into the battleground and demonstrates that war has no effects. For all the hurt that war has sought to bring, the broken bodies and the shattered limbs, the screaming dying and the silent dead, are gently lifted up and comforted.
This war is not talking about war in the usual sense. Let's be clear here. It's not talking about World War I, II, III, Ukraine, or anything else. It could be, but that's not what it's expressly talking about. It's talking about the war I have within myself. It has to do with the conflict that I live, the battleground of the dualistic world, the battleground of me constantly fighting the truth of what I am, and the dead bodies that fall by the wayside, and the weapons that have to be used, and the constant expenditure of energy to dissuade me from believing that I am anything but a nearly a helpless particle of stuff that has to constantly fight against the world to maintain its integrity. You know,
right.
and that was what I was going to say earlier. Okay,
Okay.
I thought of what it was. You know, because the deal is that every one of us, the you perceiver or the me as a perceiver, you know, whatever perceiver we have, we're all equally illusory. We're all equally in an illusion of fragmentation. You know, in other words, just because I have a sense of I, in the diamond shattering the fragmentation of the self, the Son of God,
Right.
just because I have a sense of I'm here and all y'all are illusions and I have to do the healing here, I am as much, this thing, is as much an illusion as you. We're all in this together
Right.
as the illusion. It just so happens that this illusion, this aspect of the fragmentation called, you know, Phil Hamilton, for what it's worth, or in your case, fill in your name, that aspect of the illusion that has a sense of I and that has to heal itself, has to tap itself with the magic wand. That is our agency and our only agency to reach out and heal the entire fragmentation.
Right.
There's
Yes.
an irony there. There's nothing that's more or less real within the illusion. It's all illusory. But we have the great privilege of saying, how? I noticed something, and then I go for the self-healing. So I'm not trying to say that, like, let's say Joanna's thinking in her head that she is somehow real and the rest of us are aspects of her dream. You know, it's true only within her own
Yes, within my-
fragmented delusional head.
Yes.
And that's true for everybody.
Yes. So okay, you got that piece, and now I'm gonna talk about the holy instant is the miracle's abiding place. It's talking about that it's a place, the holy instant, meaning it has a sense of space to it to me. So it's but it's an instant that is available, as we said, in every instant. And from there, each one is born into this world as witness to a state of mind.
Okay, just to be
that
clear,
has
each one what? What's the one it's talking about? Each one. From there, each one is born into this world. What's the one that it's referring to?
Each one of the miracles.
Okay, yeah.
So from there, each one of these miracles is born into this world as witnesses to a state of mind that has transcended conflict and has reached to peace. Because only there in the holy instant that is the abiding place of the constancy, the ocean that we persist in, that we don't see and perceive from the standpoint of the body, but is ever available. So there's no place that God is not. There's no place that the Holy Spirit is not. There's no place that the Son of God is not. It's all the one. But this is reminding us that it has what we consider a place.
All instant, and we went through that in the last one that we did, the last episode. Every instant is a holy instant.
Yes.
Okay. Every fragment, fracture, juncture of the time and space curriculum that we're in has the holy instant.
Yeah.
Now, all those holy instants are joined, so we can talk about them all being joined as one holy instant.
Yeah, because it's without time or space.
Right. But for our purposes, each moment, this moment, and then the next, are all holy instants. And each one, the miracle is living in it as a possible testimony, a possible witness to the fact that beautiful reality even exists.
Yes.
That's what they're there
And so,
for.
I mean,
the two are there. The two of them are there all the time, everywhere.
Yeah. And so the only other thing I would say is look for the witnesses. You'll know that you're doing the work when you look for the witnesses, because the projected world is trying to speak to us at all times.
As a witness to the state of mind that has transcended the conflict. So you've got the two.
Yes.
I've got the holy instant, which is a transcendent moment granted by God to our 3D reality as our way out. But it only sits there as potential as long as I keep playing my own game,
Yes.
own game. And so the miracle exists as the witness, that transcendent state of mind, but that has to do with the forgiveness and the little willingness.
Yes.
So those are the four elements.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, I think that if in time and space, it seems as if the little willingness seems precursor to the forgiveness, which is precursor to the opening, where the holy instant is, which allows for the miracle, and then the witnesses to come back and all those things. But it's really, once it's set in motion, it's very much a now thing. It all happens in a now moment.
Well, again, rather than moving on, we're in a moment here. I talked about in the last one the Hail Mary, the movie situation,
Yes.
right? And the situation with my son and my ex and all this kind of stuff. Again, I sense, in the same way that I sense a sort of a vestigial or a lingering anxiety about my son being healed, I also sense a potential lingering, hovering miracle of unity with my son, my daughter, her new baby, myself, my ex, Joanna, and my son, Christian. I sense the sort of the spirit hovering over the proverbial waters of this situation, and it feels like it's working. In the same way that I feel the anxiety about my son, I do feel that this is working all on its own. And it almost, just to even reflect on it, almost brings me to tears. I'm talking about all this blood for all the hurt that the war has sought to bring. There's so much blood, right? There's so many broken bodies. There was such a battle in the ripping of our family and going separate ways, and I want this and I want that, and I can't do this and I can't do that, and all this kind of anxiety and dealing with like witnesses to mental illness and craziness and self-focus that toxifies whole environments and confusion. The usual thing, right? It's the usual thing of broken situations.
Yes.
And that they were all pulling at each other like this, pulling and ripping. There's this lingering feeling that it's all going away.
Yeah,
There is.
There's a calm that starts to come over the waters, where all of that, the last one you spoke of, the moon reflecting in the water, and there's a calm. It's like...
The part that frightens me about it and brings me to tears is that I'm mystified by how that can happen. But I'm willing to see it, but I offer that willingness with a certain amount, I've just got to be honest, trepidation, because it's a frightening proof that all the worries and concerns and tantrums are bullshit. I mean, it's just empty, it's just fumes, vapors.
Right. But once it's revealed, all the smoke and mirrors are revealed. Then
smoke and mirrors. That's it.
It is just smoke and mirrors. Then
it's frightening though to see that all the things that you thought were so important and worth your blood, sweat, and tears were smoke and mirrors. I thought it was real.
Yeah, we all do. It's unfortunate, but true.
So
this world is very convincing. Okay, yeah, go on.
There is no sadness where a miracle has come to heal, and nothing more than just one instant of your love without attack is necessary that all this occur. In that one instant, you are healed, and in that single instant is all healing done. What stands apart from you when you accept the blessing that the holy instant brings? Okay, that's a question. What stands apart from you when you accept the blessing that the holy instant brings? Be not afraid of blessing, for the one who blesses you loves all the world and leaves nothing within the world that could be feared. But if you shrink from blessing, will the world indeed seem fearful, and you have withheld its peace and comfort, leaving it to die. This is the part I almost feel like if I were to describe that situation about the broken family situation, it's almost like I'm in a hospital room and I'm in a bed and I'm sick and I'm having weird voices of nurses and doctors and people talking and I'm only half coherent of the whole thing and I'm stuck on a gurney and I'm led here and I'm in a different room and the lighting changes and the conversations change, but I don't know what's going on. And so that the only confidence I can have is the thing called faith. Hopefully these people know what they're doing, saying the Holy Spirit or God. Hopefully these guys know what they're doing because I am out of control. I'm just being worked on. That's how it feels.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree. And there's no sadness when the miracle has come to heal. And the emphasis again was on that nothing more than one instant of your love without attack is necessary, that all this occur. In that is the willingness. That statement right there carries the willingness to not attack, so that love can just prevail. Really, love is there already. So to me, it says one instant of your love without attack. But as soon as you pull back on attacking and judging and saying it has to be thus, whether it's about yourself or anything else, love extends as it is. It just takes that instant so that love can extend. And then it just says, will you accept the blessing? Or are you afraid? Be not afraid of blessing. Because that blessing, for the one who blesses you, loves all the world and leaves nothing within the world that could be feared.
This is why, well, I'm going to ask you, rather than say what I think I know.
Okay.
Why on earth would you be afraid of a blessing?
Well, the thing of it is that the blessing, it's telling you sort of sequentially that it takes an instant of me wanting to give up my attack. It takes me an instant of me saying, well, maybe I don't know, It takes that instant. So I'm afraid to give up my ideas on anything because then it means I don't know my own mind. A lot of times that's what happens to the ego. That means I don't know my own mind or my own situation. And so therefore I'm relying on something else. And that's a bit frightening. Most people go, I have to rely on my senses, on what I saw and how I felt that person attacked me. So I'm going to attack back. Whatever those things are, we rely on them as our teachers, as information coming in, as a data sort, taking in input. I rely on them to prove my world. So it's asking for an instant where I say, I'm going to give up that. I'm going to give up that justification for what I feel about these things.
The flip side of that to me is, if I use my specific example of what's going on in this family dynamic that I'm talking about with, Christian acting out in what, you and I might call, let's say, bizarre ways or dissociated ways, whatever it is that he's doing. The part of the illusion, the dad figure, part of me wants him to be punished. Okay?
Yeah.
And part of me wants him to be proved out as Looney Tunes there. See, bud, you pay the price for your bad decision making, and it doesn't want him to be innocent. It doesn't want, and so therefore I refuse to accept my own blessing. I refuse to accept my own innocence because I sense a part of me, that's the fear of this. I want to keep him on the hook. I can say consciously, like a good student of A Course in Miracles, I want the best for everybody. But if I really check in, I want consistency in my world. And there's a part of me.
And that was one of the other statements, to wish the other well.
Yeah, I have to, and so that's why the fear of the blessing, I have to say I'm afraid of the blessing and just realize all I'm doing is telling you and myself that I'm still sick.
Yeah.
And that's why we're going through this. That's why the curriculum exists. It's because I'm still sick. Because when I can see my son not as Looney Tunes doing this thing that I think is clueless and deserves to be
remember,
punished.
it's only an instant.
Right. No, I know.
That doesn't take like ruminating and ruminating about it. And how am I going to do this?
Right.
How am I going to give it up or anything? No, it's just an instant. Like an instant. I can't emphasize that more.
I know, but the miracle takes an instant, right?
No, your instant of giving up attack. That is the instant that the Holy Spirit can come in.
I know, but what I'm saying is it's an instant of genuine love without attack. An instant. Right? Yet.
But I'm saying that you don't even have to experience love. If you remove the attack, if you remove your idea of punishment for an instant and say,
I know, but
that's all.
What I'm trying to get to is this. Okay, what I'm trying to get to is that to recognize some people the hell ruminate. And that they're not going to go, I want the best for everyone. I'm dropping it, man. I'm dropping it. No, you might not have the option to drop it. You because you can say, I wish the best for everybody. Let them.
I don't like it that way.
God has it on automatic pilot. I think that's fantastic that you have the ability.
I don't. I already told you I don't have that ability.
But I'm saying that with my son, I will continue to ruminate on this situation, looking, hoping, fretting for witnesses, second guessing, backseat driving with the Holy Spirit, bothering. When are we going to get there? Tapping Holy Spirit's shoulder. When are we going to get there? None of it's necessary. Okay?
Right.
That's all an aspect of my craziness. Doesn't bother the Holy Spirit. You can tap me all you want.
Right.
I'm going to drive where we're driving because I know where you want to get. But, doesn't bug me. Just ask me as many times as you want to when we're going to get there or if it's going to work out. You can just keep on asking.
Yes.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do understand what you're saying.
Personalities react to all these dimensions, the holy instant, the miracle, the forgiveness, the willingness. Each personality reacts to them in very, very different ways, unique to that person.
Right.
Okay.
I'm just saying, though, it only takes an instant to give it up. And all it says is that we prefer to stay in our state of pain until we're willing to have that willingness.
Celebrate it. I want to feel pain for 10 years until I see the results. That's my special function. That's my little special gift. At some point in this process, I'll go, man, I experienced some pain. Good job.
I hope not.
No, you've got to be honest with who and what you are. And you can pray yourself into a more jovial, joyful state of mind. That's great.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it only takes an instant. And even if you go back to ruminating, you have to hand at least one instant over. That's one for an instant.
Okay.
I know. It's like
what I'm saying is that the Holy Spirit
is. That you don't want to give an instant. I can't help you.
What the fuck? Jesus Christ. What I'm saying is, some people are going to want to prove to themselves. They're going to check and double check and triple check. They're going to have doubts. But they did the work. The work is done. But they themselves have a personality that will ruminate and dwell and fret. And they just have to accept, this is what my willingness looks like. Fretting endlessly, but you cannot use the end of fretting, the end of anxiety, the end.
I wasn't saying that.
Sounds like you are.
No, I'm not.
It sounds like you're saying it takes 1 second. I'm not disagreeing with you. But what I'm saying, as a fragment of this illusory, crazy world of ours, will you please let me finish?
Okay.
As a fragment of this illusory, crazy world, the Holy Spirit is the only one that needs that fragmentary moment of love without attack.
That's
only
right.
The Holy Spirit. I don't need to see where it is. I just need to be honest that that's my intentionality. That's my little willingness. That's all I need to know.
That's what I needed you to hear. That's
But
what
it
I
doesn't
need to hear.
necessarily bring Phil peace of mind for all time. Like,
No.
hey, man, I'm mellow. It's all going great. That's
I-
not my personality.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Understood?
Yes, I totally understand.
Okay.
I think you misunderstood me. I'm saying it only required an instant. It doesn't require multiple instants. It only requires the one. And then if you want to fret some more, go ahead. It doesn't, it wants...
It's recreational. Okay. Paragraph 5. Paragraph 5. Recreational suffering.
Oh, it is recreational suffering.
That's just like any practice,
Okay. Would not a world so bitterly bereft be looked on as a condemnation by the one who could have saved it, but stepped back because he was afraid of being healed? The eyes of all the dying bring reproach, and suffering whispers, "What is there to fear?" Consider well its question. It is asked of you on your behalf. A dying world asks only that you rest an instant from attack upon yourself, that it be healed.
Rewind the last 20 minutes of our conversation
I know.
and use it for this one.
I know. That's what it is. I mean, we were both going to the same place, but I was saying that it's asking for just that instant from attack to be healed.
I guess my whole point, and I'm done, I swear to you I'm done, is that sometimes I don't know me as an illusion, as a kind of an entity built up out of conditioned material, right? I don't know when I've done it. I don't know when it's been enough. I don't know if I've hit it. I don't know. And,
You don't need to.
Right. I know, but... okay.
I mean, you can know that you had willingness. You have to know that you had willingness.
How do you know? How do you know? How do you know? Okay, so now you got it. Now we've got something we can work with. How do you know, bona fide, tried and true, you've got the little willingness. You know you do. How do you know? What's it feel like? What's the experience of being willing to experience the healing? What's that willingness that you know you've got?
I think I've explained it in the past.
Okay, say it again. What is it?
The willingness.
You said, I don't know. That's easy to say. 3 little words.
No.
I don't know. And what is, you're done? You're done.
Do you mean it? That's the question. The question is, do you mean it?
How many people have said, till death do you part, I will love you and serve you, and they meant it? How many people? And the divorce rate's 50, 60%.
They changed their mind, didn't they?
They didn't mean it. They thought they did. They thought saying the words is the same as meaning it. That's my point.
To me, it feels like something has let go. That's
Okay.
I don't know. I just practice it, and sometimes I know I took it back because, and then I challenge myself. I'm just saying, I challenge myself to say, am I willing again then to experiment with this, where I say, I don't know about this person, this situation, my health, my relationship with you, or whatever it is. I don't know what it needs to be for me to experience what the Holy Spirit wants for me. I don't know.
St. Augustine said, God, I believe. Help my unbelief.
Yes.
That's all you can do.
That's exactly the way it is. In other words,
you never know.
Yeah.
Paragraph 6. Come to the holy instant and be healed, for nothing that is there received is left behind on your returning to the world. And being blessed, you will bring blessing. Life is given you to give the dying world, and suffering eyes no longer will accuse, but shine in thanks to you who blessing gave. The holy instant's radiance will light your eyes and give them sight to see beyond all suffering and see Christ's face instead. Healing replaces suffering. Who looks on one cannot perceive the other, for they cannot both be there. And what you see, the world will witness, and will witness to. This is this moment of Genesis, the creative role I have in literally creating the world. This is the important part. We went through the shtick about, well, you're the only real one, we're part of the curriculum, or for me, I'm the only real one, everything else is part of the curriculum, that kind of thing. Let's just freeze frame on that, let's say, solidness of the sense of I being the place where all of this happens in an apparent time space. The sense of I, that my sense of I, not yours, is a place where it anchors in that. That's a moment of Genesis, creation. That's creating the world and deciding if I'm in a world of suffering and pain and blood and guts and dead bodies strewn along roadsides because of difficulties and problems and guns and bullets, in terms of relationships, bad decisions, et cetera, et cetera. Is that your decision? You want to go with that? Mm-hmm. Does that make you feel good, Phil? Do you want to see the history of demolition? I want to look on the history of demolition so I can stand on those dead bodies and say, I conquered, like that in my life. Or do I look back on all that and say, bad investment. You didn't see it right. And I see the face of Christ there instead.
Right.
I don't see all that carnage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
But that's the risk, because without the carnage, I don't have a pile of dead bodies I can stand on and say, aren't I great? Mm-hmm. Didn't I do a good thing? Mm-hmm. You just say, no, you never did anything. Mm-hmm. You never did anything.
Right.
It was good from the start. You didn't have to do anything. That's why we don't want to give it up. We want to be conquerors. With all this effort, surely it must come to something.
Yeah, and in the very early part of this, it says, come to the holy instant and be healed, for nothing that is there received is left behind on your returning to the world. For some reason, that line there reminds me of when I haven't watched them in a long time, but the near-death experiences that people have. What they received that actually causes what we call a metanoia, or the change of heart, the change of mind, on the return into the body, that what was there is received is left behind. Nothing's left behind in your returning to the world. And being blessed, you will bring blessing. Because now, by allowing yourself to be healed, that is the blessing. You're blessed. Being blessed, you bring blessing. And then life is given you to give the dying world.
This means that the carnage that I experienced in my life, no matter how bad it is, mm-hmm. it can be the worst abuses, mm-hmm. That I'm not familiar with, and it's easy for me to talk from my cozy perch. But the places where the worst things happened, the biggest junctures where disaster struck, that's not left behind. You don't forget it. When I say it's an illusion, mm-hmm. what it becomes
is... It's saying the
blessing
blessing won't be left behind when you go to the holy instant.
I know, but none of the things that I consider a bloodbath or a difficulty in my life mm-hmm. is left behind. We're not talking about forgetting the illusions of my life. We're talking about they weren't the problem I thought they were. In that sense, it's a forgetting of the pain. It's a forgetting of the difficulty. It's a forgetting of the details that I thought I was sure of. But that stuff is still there. And it's the face of Christ now. It's mm-hmm. the face of Christ. That's what it's saying. We're not talking about taking a great cosmic eraser and erasing all the tragedies out of my life and saying that, see, they never really happened. The tragedy aspect didn't happen. But by God, you went through that thing. But the thing you went through was the face of Christ. It wasn't a tragedy. That's what it's saying. We make this distinction about A Course in Miracles sometimes, that somehow it gives us the magic wand, eliminates pain and suffering.
Right.
Well, it does. But the thing is, every event has two aspects. It's the holy instant and the time-space nightmare. They're
I
stacked up.
don't disagree with you. I just didn't think that it applied to those particular lines. Come to the holy instant and be healed, for nothing that is there received in the holy instant, nothing that's there that you received in the holy instant is left behind on your returning to the world.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is when you have your holy instant and you go through this and it's healed, the holy instant is a unifying force across all of the time space because there's only one instant in the now.
Right.
When I come back to this world of fragmentation and difficulty and 3D reality,
The blessing
my nightmares don't return from the past. In other words, if I use my family dynamic again, it's not like I have to be in some elevated state of mind to see healing from the sun and the way that trickles back. And I don't even have to see what I consider healing of the sun or healing of this and that. But there is a sense of the Holy Spirit hovering over the water in a new creation. And when I come back here, I'm free of the anxieties and pains and the blood and the guts
Yes.
of what happened at some point
Yes.
in a past.
That's what I agree.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Is
I
that
agree.
clear?
Okay. And so I mean it gives you your what you'll experience in that metanoia where you have the change of the holy instinct causes that inner change where you, like you said, you don't bring it with you, and
Yeah,
suffering and eyes no longer accuse.
In this last line, what you see, the world will witness and will witness too. In other words, this healing that happens in these moments, they stay with you.
Yes, they do. It's the only thing that's real.
Right.
It's
Okay.
the only thing that's real. Okay. Paragraph 7. Thus is your healing everything the world requires, that it may be healed. It needs one lesson that has perfectly been learned. And then, when you forget it, will the world remind you gently of what you have taught. No reinforcement will its thanks withhold from you, who let yourself be healed that it might live. It will call forth its witnesses to show the face of Christ to you, who brought the sight to them by which they witnessed it. The world of accusation is replaced by one in which all eyes look lovingly upon the friend, the Holy Spirit, who brought them their release. And happily your brother will perceive the many friends he thought were enemies. I guess that friend would be all the people that are the sonship, who brought them their release. And happily your brother will perceive the many friends he thought were enemies.
There's okay, like if I speculate into the situation, because I have the family dynamic as an example, where there's, let's say, wounds between me and the ex.
Yeah.
There's unintended wounds of the children in the fragmented family. And it's real stuff. I mean, we're talking about money, time, not so much words, because there's not a lot of harsh words exchanged. But there's a lot of pain. And now my son is carrying a lot of pain that doesn't necessarily directly relate to that stuff. But, I don't know how any of this works. The point is that within myself, as it's saying here, and happily your brother will perceive the many friends he thought were enemies. That would be, let's say, my son. And I can have a persistent, not just hope, but faith. I'd say faith that those friends that he sees, the friends in his life, the friends in his experience, as part of my curriculum, okay? He's part of my curriculum. And that I have a sharp focus on him. Vigilance for the kingdom, because, I'm going to stay vigilant until I see the kingdom, right? And so as he goes through his experiences, I have a faith, him as a fragmented part of myself, that in his time, he will see these friends, and happily he will perceive the world up here, the witness. The world will witness and will witness too in the prior ending of the paragraph. It's not up to me to see him happy, dancing, functional, doing whatever he does.
No, because the first line is, thus is your healing everything the world requires.
Right, exactly.
That it may be healed. It's your healing.
But I can say when I look at it and say, it is healed, okay? No matter what it looks like. right? No matter what it looks like. That it's given to me as a blessing for my own healing. And that if I can persist and stay with it, I can say, well, the miracle doesn't need or rely on time. So when that release is apparently given, the freedom and release is apparently given to my son in some form that I may or may not understand or be able to recognize, I, in my now of my healing, have to recognize that it is there, period. It is there. I don't have to wait with my fingers crossed. It is there and is happening. And the witnesses that I will receive might be a healing between me and the ex.
Yeah.
Or a healing between, let's say, myself and my daughter, who says, I see our family coming together in this.
Right.
After this bloodbath. You know, if I see these kinds of witnesses, I can know that the work of the Son is incoming.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
It's not a made-for-TV movie thing. It's a very dynamic situation that all relates to my sense of healing.
Yeah. And it's because I don't know, there's this thing where it says, and then when you forget it, will the world remind you? Because it's saying that this holy instant where this healing takes place, so many things happen in our lives and everything else that you might not remember that you had the willingness. You might not remember anything. And then when you forget it, will the world remind you gently of what you have taught? Because it was a holy instant, and the Holy Spirit had access, and so it extended. It extended love where you didn't know. It extended love in ways that we can't explain. No reinforcement will its thanks withhold from you. Oops. For some reason, what paragraph are we on?
You're on that was 7.
So then it says, no reinforcement will its thanks withhold from you who let yourself be healed, that it might live. It will call forth its witnesses to show the face of Christ to you who brought the sight to them by which they witnessed it. So even though I forget about it, I forget about that willingness. I forget about that instant.
It's inevitable because I'm part of the illusion.
Yeah.
And I'm trapped in this matrix. It's inevitable.
Every time we give that willingness over, we actually we say, I want to see it differently. I want to see this situation differently. Even if I can't remember it in the future that I even did it, that instant that seems so fragmentary that I'm not even sure if I did it, quote, right, doesn't matter. The Holy Spirit and the holy instant are intimately tied, and now, ironically, even if I can't remember the prayer that I gave, that I thought I turned it over and everything else, I'm going to begin to see the witnesses that show that, oh, yes, we heard, the universe, whatever, the Holy Spirit heard it. The Christ within all of us heard it. And now we have the world of accusations replaced by one with all eyes that look lovingly upon the friend, which is the whole sonship, who brought them their release. And happily your brother will perceive the many friends he thought were enemies. Yeah, so in other words, we're not in conflict anymore. The sense of peace has come. And the enemies are no more.
That friend that looks upon is Jesus or the Holy Spirit.
Okay.
The friend with a capital F. Holy Spirit.
Who brought them their release. Who brought the brothers their release.
Okay. Because what ends up happening is, put it this way.
I wasn't sure because then it used the friend again, but it used
it used friends with a small f are
Yeah.
the many friends
Yes.
he thought were enemies. That's where we see the minor, the quirks and special forms that emerge out of a healing only to increase our faith and belief in this other world, because in the end this is not about healing a world, healing a planet, healing a family. It's about the truth, coming back to the truth of, as they say, who's your daddy.
Yes.
That's the deal.
Okay, let's move on.
Problems are not specific, but they take specific forms, and these specific shapes make up the world And no one understands the nature of his problem. If he did, it would be there no more for him to see. Its very nature is that it is not. And thus, while he perceives it, he cannot perceive it as it is. But healing is apparent in specific instances and generalizes to include them all. This is because they really are the same, despite their different forms. All learning aims at transfer, which becomes complete within two situations that are seen as one. For only common elements are there. Yet this can only be attained by one who does not see the differences you see. The total transfer of your learning is not made by you, but that it has been made in spite of all the differences you see, convinces you that they could not be real. I don't know if you guys hear it, but I hear this absolutely saying exactly what I've said what the feelings I came, the things I came to, the ideas I am getting from this are reinforced in this very paragraph about problems not being specific. Like, I've got a family dynamic, I've got a son, I've got an ex, I've got money, I've got words, I've got a daughter, I've got these different things. And the daughter has a baby, and the baby's got issues, and the baby's issues, and the son-in-law, and it's just it's a rippling out of all these things that are interrelated in a way, as it says, that I can't understand. Right. And the point is, you turn this over to one who doesn't see all the specifics, only sees the one general problem. It's one general gesture of healing, or one general gesture of the truth, of which I'm dumbfounded by the smokescreen of detail. And,
yes.
and so having engaged the great mechanic, the one who can come in and deal with this situation, heal this situation, without attending to all of my obfuscating detail, it comes in, and then I go, wow, what about all the details? And I just I see it moving. Like I said, I see it moving in this situation. In this situation, I see this movement, spirit hovering over the water, like in Genesis,
right,
of recreating and healing this whole situation. Now you can say, well, Phil, that's just wishful thinking. It's an affirmation. You really need drugs, psychologists. You need, letters of intent. You need actions. You need family meetings. You need all these different things. That's just more of the specifics. And the simple reality is, the only thing that's needed is, as you said, the one simple moment. For all of the multifarious apparent images, the one simple moment of love without attack, and the willingness, and the desire to be healed, and to face the fear that comes from that, because things shift and change. But this is talking to me about that hospital room where things are happening all around me, and I can just kind of like have one bleary eye on the situation and go, oh, it looks like it's turning out okay.
Yeah, that's what you said, that all those instances where it seems like multiple problems all needing some specific tending to, but it says this is because they are really the same, and despite their different forms. And all learning aims to transfer, which becomes complete within two situations that are seen as one, for only common elements are there. So those are all things that I think most people cannot see, particularly when there's multiple things that seem to be going on, that seem to have some kind of triage or being taken care of, bandaged up and taken care of. And yet the Holy Spirit says it's okay. Just give it what you perceive as many, I see as one, and it's going to take care of it.
Well, Earl Purdy, that course teacher in Memphis, I still have his face. He was the first guy I ever heard talk about A Course in Miracles. And he would just say, you don't look like you're better to me. You don't look like you're getting better to me.
Yeah.
And he's just talking about how that doesn't matter.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
I don't necessarily understand the way the details get worked out.
Right. Exactly.
9?
Yeah. Paragraph 9. Your healing will extend and will be brought to problems that you thought were not your own. And it will also be apparent that your many different problems will be solved as any one of them has been escaped. It cannot be their differences which made this possible, for learning does not jump from situations to their opposites and bring the same results. All healing must proceed in lawful manner, in accord with laws that have been properly perceived, but never violated. Fear you not the way that you perceive them. You are wrong, but there is one within you who is right.
What do you think?
Well, I mean, again, it's just saying that all the problems are exactly only seen as one. And so the fact that that it will be solved as any one of them has been escaped, I thought that was an interesting word, why it chose the word that all my problems will be solved as any one of them has been escaped. But I think it's because perceptually you feel trapped when all those problems are happening. But then when you do the where I'm handing it over through whatever means of saying either I don't know or saying I want to see it another way, or however it works in your own mind where you feel that you'll leave that space where there's no attack. It says just they're going to be, there's no difference. It cannot be their differences which made this possible, for learning does not jump from situations to their opposites and bring the same results. So obviously, whatever this same result is, it's a healing that transcends all of what I thought was happening. I have no idea what that looks like.
Well, I'll tell you what I think it looks like. Is that, let's say, as an example, imagine like a map. And I've described, you have a map of a city, and you describe a little one block, tiny area in this very, very large city. So that's what I did. I described a family situation that is a little tiny block in a much larger city. There are families in my past that I looked at and said, they're messed up, or there's families out there in the community that I say, well, they're messed up, or there's situations. Those are not in my mind as part of my problem. Okay, that's not part of my problem. But in terms of vigilance for the kingdom, I want to start to notice if that family over there that is not part of my problem that I was describing, it's not on my block.
Right.
It's not even on an adjacent block. It might be half mile, a couple miles away on my map. I go, they got movement there. Something happened there.
Right.
And start to accept the broadness and the reach and the global influence of the Holy Spirit in this situation we're in, where you start to see, that person, they were in a hopeless situation. I thought I was praying about my son. He still looks stuck to me. Wow. But over there, something happened, and I recognized because of the nature of this thing, there's an inner sense that, are they related? Are they related? And you go, yes, don't ask. Yes, they are related.
Yeah, I
your
agree.
Your prayer, your intention, your little willingness, your forgiveness, your engagement in the specifics of your situation. Wow, leapfrogged, time to get that one over there. Take that blessing. It's a blessing because you saw it.
That's right.
You bring that blessing because that blessing is necessary for you to see the blessing in the situation that you think is on your block.
That's right. That's very true.
Does it make sense?
Yeah, because all of those are projections. As we said, all things are echoes of the voice for God. And so we will see and get those projections, the witnesses back that we require to show that the holy instant has been used, and the miracle is moving in the ways that we cannot understand.
Well, I mean, part of it I want to say is, I absolutely, talking to myself, enjoy the process.
Yeah, exactly.
Enjoy the process, and enjoy the process of learning that the process works. Enjoy the process of saving the world. Enjoy the process of seeing that though you're working in your little illusory block of the city, you got results not only, in another city, maybe on another side of the planet. I mean, you don't know where that happens, but be aware for those to inform you because that informing me of the relationship between my little willingness here in my tiny situation and something happening over there on the other side of the earth or the other side of the city or the adjacent block, speaking figuratively.
Right.
That's the blessing. Don't push it away. It's part of the process of being able to accept those blessings that seem so different than what I was hoping for.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, paragraph 10.
Yes.
Leave then the transfer of your learning to the one who really understands its laws and who will guarantee that they remain unviolated and unlimited. Your part is merely to apply what he has taught you to yourself, and he will do the rest. And it is thus the power of your learning will be proved to you by the many different witnesses it finds. Am I not saying this? Your brother, first among them, will be seen, but thousands stand behind him, and beyond each one of them there are 1,000 more. Each one may seem to have a problem that is different from the rest, yet they are solved together, and their common answer shows the questions could not have been separate. Do you understand that the willingness to relax my view of what is specific healing into what general healing is allows me to expand or to get lost, the drop in the ocean moment, where you start to say, oh, I was working on my fingernails and I end up healing leprosy in Hawaii,
Yeah. Because it's not the you that is the personality you. It is in that willingness, the truth of who you are is united with the one, and it's like when you mention that a cityscape or whatever, that the part that's wrestling all the time is like a part of the grid that went out, the lights went out, and when the willingness happens, the Holy Spirit sets the lights on fire, and that grid is like took a power station out, and so everyone else is like sort of flickering lights and everything else. As soon as you do that, allow the Holy Spirit in, it says, I'll fix that, and it goes out, and all the lights go on. It's like everything got touched by the one. That's why we're asked to be the saviors of the world.
No, this is it's a critical thought. It's worth thinking about. This whole salvation is forgiveness is my function. And salvation somehow, I don't know what it is. Salvation depends on me.
Yeah, salvation depends on me.
Salvation of the world, that's why I'm here. And this is where the genesis, we're not talking about different parts of the globe and we're talking about me and my little mind and my little privileged place of awareness of being quote unquote real. Real, quote unquote real meaning I am. That's God's name.
Right, I am.
But I say I am. But that's God's name. That's my privilege. And in that privilege, enjoy the fun of not building up corpses and standing on them and saying, I won. Okay, that's not where the fun is.
Right.
The fun is relaxing and seeing the Holy Spirit ripple out, not one dead body at a time, but thousands of happy people at a time.
Yes.
Thousands of
Right.
successes at a time. And just live with it. Live with it, because the ego comes in and says, that's BS. There's no way.
Yeah.
This is just very, no. It's one of those crazy moments to where somebody's driving a Ford around the city, and then there's another thing that somebody says, here, I got a vehicle for you, and it happens to be a time machine. And so you're sitting there trying to drive this time machine, and you're trying to attribute it the function of your Ford. You're not going to understand what it's doing, and it's going to be confusing and terrifying. You have to realize it's a totally different kind of machinery. the Holy Spirit and healing and salvation, it's a totally different kind of machine. It's like the time machine versus the Ford.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. I think we can go on. What do you think?
Sure.
Okay.
11.
Paragraph 11. Peace be to you to whom is healing offered, and you will learn that peace is given you when you accept the healing for yourself. Its total value need not be appraised by you to let you understand that you have benefited from it. What occurred within the instant that love entered in without attack will stay with you forever. Your healing will be one of its effects as your healing will be one of its effects, as will your brother's. Everywhere you go, will you behold its multiplied effects. Yet all the witnesses that you behold will be far less than all there really are. Infinity cannot be understood by merely counting up its separate parts. God thanks you for your healing, for he knows it is a gift of love unto his Son, and therefore it is given unto him.
You know, in being able to sense the reality of salvation of the world by one person, you know, in my ability to have a sense of that salvation, in other words, I see the ripple effects of a gesture that I don't understand spreading out and out and out. And specifically the way that looks is, let's say, I tell you this family dynamic with the son and the ex and whatnot. And then over there, I see another family that I'm very well aware of. They're just next door. This isn't on the other side of the earth. This is just next door. And I see movement. I see happiness. I see successes within their context, on their terms, of their what brings happiness to them. I don't even have to say that it means that that I understand that and that I feel like my magic wand did it to them.
Right.
You know, but I just see them over there and I just sit back and go, oh, so this is how this works, and appreciate it and realize that healing over there is not different than the healing in that situation that I was describing.
Right.
It's not different than that. And to receive that blessing as part of this one, and I guess all I could say is just to develop a taste for it as an enjoyment.
Yes.
Because it can be fun.
Yeah, it can be, definitely. It should give you some levity. That's why, I shouldn't put the shoulds out there, but I think you'll feel levity. That's what I think, that it will do that.
But why? Just let's talk about it for a second. Why? Because why would you feel levity? And what good is it? What good is levity? What good is happiness? What good is that lightness? What's it good for?
It's good for, because in that levity, where you feel unburdened, lack of conflict anymore. So with that levity, there's usually some peace, some joy. I mean, those things well up from another place. They're not something that was specific to, watching a great movie or going on a great vacation or having your perfect lover or whatever it is. It's much more general, that you just feel happy because of nothing, really. What seems like you don't even know why. and because what occurred within the instant that love entered without attack will stay with you forever. It's a moment of truth. It's the moment of truth.
What's the truth?
The truth that there's no way that you are isolated from all the apparent.
All of them are you.
They're all you.
And
yeah.
if you're happy, they're happy.
Well.
Weirdly.
Yes, weirdly, something like that happens. Now, it doesn't seem like it, but...
In the specifics.
Yeah, in the specifics. But, I don't know if this is
But you're creating the world.
Yeah. And
you're saving the world.
There's something about when when the truth dawns on one mind, that it doesn't just dawn on one.
Okay, wait a second. I got to stop there because Kenneth Wapnick warns of this, and I think it's a good warning.
Yes.
We're not talking 100th monkey.
No.
We're not talking about you have a healing and
Right.
it spreads to me and you and you and you. That's not what's going on. We're talking about I'm the only real thing in the universe. You watching this, I'm part of your curriculum. You're the only real thing in the universe. And it is incumbent upon you to either, maybe it's something we said here. Maybe it's something that happens later.
Yes.
Maybe it's something that rolls up on the screen. Maybe it's something that happens in real life or at the grocery store, in your car, or just in your life, maybe just walking across the room. Something happens that reinforces the idea that the salvation of the world depends on you. And it's not only possible, that's what there is to do.
Yeah, and that's the way the law works.
That's the work. Save
Yeah.
the world. And what's the world? And the whole thing depends on the one person. It's not a spreading of the 100th monkey.
Right.
Now, oddly,
It might look like it.
well, it might look like it, but I can also throw this in as a thing. Let's say you as a particle, the only particle in the world, the only real thing, the only I am, you who's watching, you are the only I am in the whole universe. There is nothing else, just you and the teacher. That's it. That's all there is. And everything else outside of you that you perceive or you sense is that teacher, all of it. And it's just you and him, you and that entity. Give it a her or him or it, whatever.
Yeah.
And you guys are duking it out in your curriculum like this. That's all there is. When you come to that and you realize that there's some relaxation there, there's an acceptance. Yeah, I'm in a deal with a teacher, and all that stuff out there is only me. That's all it is. It's not anything else. Well, you see me get happy. You see me, an aspect of the curriculum, something that's on the other side of the screen, get happy because of you.
Right.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
God, as I just repeat, God thanks you for your healing, for he knows it is a gift of love unto his Son, and therefore it is given unto him, which means it's given unto all of us.
yeah, the big one.
The
Okay.
big one. Well,
That's it.
thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thanks.
Merry Christmas.
No, by now it's Happy New Year, so rephrase
Oh, I guess this one's not going to come out until it's New Year. So, Happy New Year.